What is up, everybody? Welcome back to NFL Divisional Round picks and predictions. Man, that was not a super wild card weekend because we only had one good game, but that was still a hot, entertaining scoring weekend, I would say. The only good game was the Lions and Rams. To be honest, every game was a blowout, if you put it that way. Or shootout, but it was mainly mainly the weekend of the blowouts. But yeah, I mean, let's get right into the divisional round picks. We have 8 teams left, 4 games, so let's make this a good quick video with some good predictions here. All right, so we got the first game on Saturday. We got the Texans at the Ravens. Baltimore is 9.5. Over under is 43.5. Man, it's gonna be 28 degrees in Baltimore. Okay. Great win by the Texans last week, but the Ravens come off the bye as only 1 seed. I do not see the Texans going into Baltimore and just winning because, having that only 1 seed is so valuable. And then Houston coming from indoor team. Stroud's a great quarterback. He's playing really well this year as a rookie, but I just don't see him going into Baltimore and beating Lamar Jackson. You know what I mean? Like the NFL MVP that's going to be. So I'll take the Ravens. I'll take them 31 to 21. I think it'll be a 10-point type of game. But I just think Baltimore just prepared, ready, and yeah. And then we got the lock of the weekend out of the 4 games. Shouldn't happen. I'm picking against them again, but 49ers over Packers and San Fran. San Fran's 9.5, over under is 50.5. The Packers got lucky last week. That was just, I don't understand what that was. Dallas just didn't show up. You know what I mean? I have no idea how it happens, but Green Bay to me is still a fluke because unless they could beat the Niners this week, and then I could give them respect. But to me, those games happen. The best teams lose those games. And then Dallas just lost that game last week. They haven't lost all year at home, and they finally did last week. Those games happen. I mean, the team clunkers happen, and shootout wins, teams win, and it happens. But the Green Bay on the road again, I just don't see them outdoing San Francisco's offense, and I don't see Green Bay's defense stinks. So it should be a field day for the 49ers. I personally think the 49ers win this game 38-17. I think it's going to be just a shootout for the Niners offense in Green Bay. If you put it that way, they shot their load last week. You know what I mean? They shot their load. And again, 49ers having another 1 seed, valuable. Their players actually had 3 weeks off, if you put it that way. They haven't played since week 17. So, yeah. And then we got to the Sunday games. First one, you got the Buccaneers at the Lions. Detroit is 6.5. Over under is 48.5. I said about the Eagles last week. I said they were frauds. I said that shit since week fucking 7, and people said, "Oh, they're not frauds." So I never want to hear shit talk on the Vikings losing last year to the Giants again, because you know what? We didn't get blown out. I'd rather lose to the Giants, last year's team, than this year's Buccaneers team. This year's Buccaneers team, they're not that. Somebody had to win that division. Come on. But you just got blown out big time. You didn't even score 10 points in that game. This is to Tampa Bay and Baker Mayfield. People lost to us when you lost to Tampa Bay. They laughed at us when you lost to them. But you know what? Look who's got the last laugh yet again. So, I'll take the Lions here. Although, this still is a dangerous game because, the Lions, 1 week they look like they're the Super Bowl favorites. The next week they look like, to the Jets with Tim Boyle this year. But yeah, they should win. And they should win. I think it's going to be a closer game what most might think. Some might think, oh, it's 31-17. I'm only going to say 27-20. I think, yeah, you know what I mean? It's that type of game. And the next week we'll set up for a 49ers-Lions championship game. I think you know where I'm going with that, but we'll see what happens. Somebody could get hurt. And we don't know. Then we got the game of the week on paper. It's a rematch of the 2021 Divisional Round, but that was in Kansas City. But the Chiefs at the Bills. Buffalo's 2.5. Over on is 45.5. It's going to be 20 degrees in Buffalo. I don't think it's going to be as high of a scoring game as everybody thinks because it's in Buffalo. It's colder. Like some people are saying, I'm reading the shit saying 38-35. No, I think it's going to be, I'm going to take the Bills to win this time around. I think Josh Allen gets Mahomes for the first time in the playoffs. I want to say like 31-27. You know what I mean? I think that, the Bills being home is the biggest factor into it. If they're going on the road, I might have to take Mahomes at home, but his first playoff game on the road, it's gonna be a challenge for him. You know what I mean? He doesn't have the same receivers as he did, especially 2 years ago when Tyreek had that crazy touchdown with a minute left. But I just think would I be surprised if Kansas City won? No, no, because Mahomes and Allen might have a couple turnovers. I think it's don't be surprised. I'm saying 31-27, but don't be surprised if it's an overtime game. You know what I mean? And it ends in OT. I wouldn't be surprised. Now, this game would be exciting if it went into 2 overtimes. There's no ties in the playoffs, so even if that happened, I wouldn't be surprised because these guys are gonna be. There might be new overtime rules in the playoffs too. If a team scores a touchdown, the other team gets a chance. So, yeah, man. That's all I got. It's four on paper, solid games. At least maybe 3 out of 4. Let's say if one's a clunker in there, like San Fran destroys Green Bay, or Baltimore destroys Houston, like something like that. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm more excited for it. I know that the Eagles are out. Now I've got to sit there and worry about them fucking winning. So at least I could say, hey, you know what, they're out, and now I could just, cheer against Green Bay and cheer against Detroit. Although I think Detroit, I'll feel better if one of those lose. You know what I mean? Because, but I'll feel better if San Fran, wins, and the Lions. When I come out to see the Lions face the 49ers in the championship game, then the fucking Packers face the whoever in the championship game. You know what I mean? So. Or San Fran face Tampa. So, you know what I mean? So, but overall, before we go into it, depends how teams play. Because I have Baltimore versus the Bills I have predicting. But as of right now, I think it's going to be Ravens 49ers Super Bowl. But who knows? Think about the colors of the Super Bowl logo. They're saying it's purple and red. So, that is it. Next week, we have the NFC Championship and the AFC Championship. The CBS at AFC is at 3, and at 6:30 is the Fox NFC. So that is it. Divisional round, if you want to put it, week 20, if you want to put it that way, whatever you want to call it. That is divisional round picks and predictions. Hope everybody enjoys the games. And see you guys back here for the NFC Championship and AFC Championship. Championship weekend is always my favorite weekend of the year. I get more excited over championship weekend than the Super Bowl, to be honest with you. Because it's just, you have 2 games, it defines who's going. Like the Super Bowl, okay, that's a Super Bowl, but next week's actually my favorite. Plus you got, whoever watches WWE, you got the Royal Rumble next week. That's Saturday night. So that's going to be a fun weekend, man. So, all right, guys. See you guys back here next week. Enjoy the games.